Hi everybody and welcome to this open studio. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that I'm currently working on what I called an acid green background. So that was a fun challenge to see how I can turn a very bright green paint like this into something like this. So I'm just going to continue with my painting journey here in the studio. So you're welcome to join me and just watch as I figure out what the painting is requiring of me next. And feel free to ask me some questions if you want to know a little bit more about my process, or if you want to inquire about where I'm going with this painting, or just check in and say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and I'll tell you a little bit more about myself as we go. So let me get some paints going here. I'm working with my wet palette, which I created myself. So it's really just a Tupperware that I use that has a lid, and I basically put a wet towel underneath so you guys can't see, and then I use like a wax paper on top, and this way I preserve my acrylic paints so they stay nice and moist and they don't dry out on me that quickly. And it makes it easier to paint expressively like this in acrylic paint, because if you might know, acrylic paint can dry out rather quickly on you, and I sort of want to have a little bit more time to play with my brush marks and to express myself in my beautiful colors, because that's what I enjoy most. And working on a wet palette like this allows me to have the paint nice and moist and juicy and not drying me that quickly. So that's why I use a wet palette. In fact, I dispensed this paint last week Sunday, and as you can see, it's still wet. So I hope that's helpful. So I'm just enjoying painting my beautiful pink orchids here, and I think it's sort of time for me to get into these juicy little insides. So I'm just using magenta. In fact, I think I need a little bit more magenta. And right now I'm playing with a number of new art materials that I got myself recently after my recent art exhibition that I had earlier in September. And thank you to everyone that supported my art exhibition in September. I was able to get some new art supplies. So I'm not sponsored by these people. I'm just showing you what I've got and what I'm using. But I haven't tried this before. This is from Dollar and Ronnie, and it's their System 3 fluid acrylics. And it is so much fun, I promise you. So you saw me dispense this little magenta in my video that's on my channel right now, part 2. So it's really got a very fine tip, so I can even draw with it if I want to. That's really cool. So I'm really enjoying the fluid acrylics, and the potency of the pigment is really surprising and very nice. So let's just get into this magenta moment here. So I really just like to capture a moment here. I'm not trying to be realistic with what I'm painting. I'm just trying to capture a mood and sort of a directionality of my subject. No point in trying to capture every little detail. Well, it's not that it's pointless, but that's not my thing. I sort of like to get more into the expressionistic feeling that I want to convey in my paintings. So I'm just playing here off a little reference material. It's just a photograph of some pink orchids. There you go. And I'm just using it just to sort of give myself a reference material to play with the directionality of all of these little petals and try and capture what I'm seeing with as little as possible. So I'm trying to simplify my brush marks. And I'm just using a beautiful filbert here from Roller & Dorney as well. So I'm really enjoying this brush. I hope you guys are keeping nice and warm. Those of you that are watching that is from South Africa, this was a rather cold weekend. I hope you guys were safe and that you are nice and warm. It's warming up here in Pretoria a little bit today, so it's not as bad, but as you can see, I'm dressed in a tracksuit. It is rather cold. I like to add sort of small details at a time, and then I also consider maybe is there any reflection of my color maybe in my vase. So I'm not too concerned with blending everything in. I think it adds to the charm later when there is some reflections of the colors that you've used in your painting somewhere else on your canvas. I think it just unifies the color. Now, one of the things that I thought that this painting still needs, and maybe you guys can help me with that, is I'm almost feeling like this curvature of my orchids feels like there's a little bit of a roof on it, like it's too flat. Like maybe I need some background petals peeking out there to sort of just change the structure up there. So I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think? I would love to know if you think if I should add something in the back there to give a little bit more depth, or do you like it as it is? So tell me in a comment below. Hi everybody, I'm just giving a shout out to everyone. Thank you for joining me. It's really fun to get into this live open studio sort of sessions. I plan to do a lot more of these in the future, and maybe as I develop my community here, I can have open studios and you guys can paint along with me. What does that sound like? But if you are interested, I'm already over on Patreon, and I do a lot of a number of acrylic and multimedia classes over there. So if you're interested in what I'm offering and you want to check it out, just go over to Patreon and you will find me under @Gideon Slide Creative Coaching. I would love to see you over there. So you guys, what have you been thinking about these pink flowers on the acid green background? Isn't it lovely? So basically this is a complementary color scheme. I really enjoy the punch of color, and I love starting on a very vibrant background because that's where it gives me a lot of opportunity for vibrancy and beauty, especially because I like to paint botanical florals. And one way that I sort of trick the eye to think that the flowers are more vibrant is to use a complementary color in the background. That sure is a lot of fun for me. So I basically started this painting on an acid green background and I started to develop it from there. So it sure was a lot of fun because a lot of you thought I was going to do black flowers or blue flowers or purple flowers, and it was interesting to sort of see where you guys went in your mind with what could possibly work on this acid green background. So congratulations to everyone that sort of guessed in the reds or in the pink kind of color schemes. When I sort of threw out that challenge, I was sort of just looking to see how many people answered me, and a lot of you answered me. Thank you for guessing along with me. I'm really grateful for that. And at the time of recording that part 2, there was only one of you that guessed a pink color, and that was at Monkey. Thank you so much for guessing along with me, and congratulations for guessing right. Okay, you guys. So I basically think I'm going to leave this to dry so that when I come back to it, I can see if I can develop this a little bit further. I think I want to bring a little bit more of that light through. I want to make some final decisions about my vase and where I'm going to take that and play with some light reflections and some shadows. I want to develop that a little bit more in the foundation or on the table. And then I'm just sort of give you guys a bit of time to think with me about adding some petals in the background here, just to change that arch and make it a little bit more flower-like, organic there in the background. So that's my challenge to you guys. I will check out your answers, and then I'll decide how I'm going to tackle this beautiful orchid that I'm painting. So do watch out for part 3. So hop over to my channel, remember to follow so that you guys don't miss out on this beautiful process. And thank you for coming along on this beautiful new series of mine. So I'll see you guys again real soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye for now.